welcome back. Episode 5. We're happy to have you here. I'm Annie.
And I'm Meg. This week we are talking about something that Annie and we deal with every single day of our life, which is
We think a lot of people deal with.
A long distance friendship or, other long distance type relationships. It can be with anybody, but a relationship meaningful to you and you don't live near each other.
Yeah, I feel like we all have some form of that, right? Because whether you're bestie from high school, after college, you go to different colleges and you move away, or you live in a town like we did. We met in San Francisco when we were both living there as adults. And then now I live in Oregon. Now we are long distance besties. And so it's interesting. I mean, my own past experiences of trying to manage my friendships that are long distance with other people, and Megan as well. It's now we're bringing those things to our own friendship and being as close as we are. How do we still feel close when physically we're not in the same city?
Yes. Yeah. So I think that for a lot of people, there's we didn't have this because we came back together after we'd already moved away from each other. But I think for a lot of people in for long distance relationships, they start together, they're still very connected, and then they have to move away from each other. And I think that would be really hard. So I think that there's this initial adjustment period for most people. Should we just get into all the stuff?
Let's do it.
Okay.
That's why we're here.
I think part of having the sadness of having a long distance relationship, obviously that person's not there every day. You can't just go to their house and have tea, just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
It's there's a grief of the everyday moments.
Yeah, the little things.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, this could even be an episode for just moms who even live in the same city.
For real. So perfect segue into something I wanted to mention about that. I have a friend, I'm very close with, she's one of my best friends. And guess what? She lives 15 minutes away from me, and we never see each other just because our lives have different schedules. And it's we still have this love, but it's so hard to hang out because she's a single mom too. And she's, got to go teach her yoga classes and go pick up her kid from school and do all these things. And I'm kind of confined in a lot of ways to my house because of my kids' needs, or her kid too is a lot older. And so it's harder. It's not oh, let's just get the kids together to play while we drink tea and hang out. It's they're into different things because of just their age differences. They can try and hang out. And I know Addie really loves her son. We went to the park the other day, a park that we had gone with them once. And she was I missed him. It was really sweet. But, just it's harder, even when you have a friend who's close, just because your work schedule or other life demands, you end up in these long distance friendships with people who live close to you.
Everyday moments are completely missed. A lot of us get into relationships with a significant other for the simple fact, humans long for their life to be witnessed.
Yeah.
And we miss these everyday moments with people because life and one of the benefits of having a partner or something is that you have someone there to witness your life, and that's what humans want. And so when your friend is not close to you or has a busy life of being a mom or whatever, you're missing out on someone who you care about deeply, witnessing your life, your everyday BS.
And you want to witness theirs as well. And it's harder to with distance and depending on, your ability to have similar times to connect, even via text message or phone call or whatever form that you use of communication. I've just lost my train of thought. It was the last thing you said. I took my medicine today, but still brains scattered.
So I think this brings us to our point about the tools that we use to actually get through the long distance and so that we can each witness each other's lives. And it might just be a couple seconds off or a couple minutes off, a couple hours, a couple days off, depending on when the person received the message. But this is not an ad, but if Marco Polo wants
non-sponsored,
that would be cool. That would be legit. So we use Marco Polo. It's this cool app. It's asynchronous. So Annie can take a video of something that she's doing in the moment, a whole video. And because it's not live, there's this feeling of it can be non-performative. You don't have to be ready for action. Like, it's just like, this is a part of my life and you're not there. And so I can just be myself. It's like, it's fine.
I'm just thinking if you wanted to share this with you, look at this cute thing my kid just did, or I just thought of this really funny memory, or like, hey, wow, I just burnt the chicken. Look how crappy this looks, like whatever. Like you can include your friend in like the non-big moments in person as possible. And it kind of works like either a walkie-talkie where if the person happens to be on their phone or is available, they can listen to your message live. Or if they're not, then it's just like a recording sitting there waiting for whenever they have the bandwidth or time to listen to it. And that's so nice when you have like, whether you're in a different time zone or just different schedules, like I can send something to Megan and be like, oh my gosh, blah, 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 blah. I just had this idea. Let me know what you think when you get it. And then it's easier to free talk that way versus in text message, especially I think too, like if you're neurodivergent, sometimes it's harder to just get to the point or to like succinct down what you want to say. So I'll be like, okay, I don't have like, this is too much to type. I'm like still thinking this out. So I'll send her a video because I can free talk without having to like sound like a super confusing text message. Like, what's your point? Where are you going with it? It's less for her to read.
Faces. And I think one of the things I really like about it is that like, okay, so it's not like a video where like this even where we can kind of like interrupt each other and we both have ADHD. Yeah. So like we do it without even like meaning to like be disrespectful or anything like that. Like we're just like jumping, right? We're just jumping constantly.
Yeah. We get it.
Says you like you can't do that. You have to take in the entire message, what your friend or person that you value said in full, and then you respond. So it takes out that like, because as much as I love ADHD, like going back and forth, sometimes it's really especially when it's important. We've gone through our sad moments on Marco Polo too. Like I cannot tell you how many times Katie and I have cried on Marco Polo. And it's really valuable for those moments where you just want, that the person on the other end is going to be forced just to listen. Like they won't be able to interject with their thoughts or like their, and I like that when I'm listening to you because it gives me a chance to absorb instead of.
Yeah, it allows us to be present, like truly present. And to save it for a moment. So like, let's say I'm doing something with my kid and I'm like, ooh, Megan is poloing me. Let me listen. I might start to listen to it and be like, oh, this isn't just a funny whatever. This is like she's wanting to express something. I'm going to stop listening, send her a text message and be like, hey, like, let me get back to this. Or if I'm not able to text message, like, I know she understands, but like, I then can be like, I am going to wait till I know I can give the attention that this deserves. Because right now I'm pulled in two different directions and I don't want to half-ass listen. And so it allows us the opportunity to not only be heard and witnessed, to your point, but also to give ourselves the space to be fully present with our friends when we know that they need it.
Yeah.
I love this app so much. Oh my God.
Me too.
It has just changed communication for me.
Yeah, I love it. I actually have other friends that I'm on there with now, so that's pretty cool. And I wanted to talk about how one of the ways that also like the Annie and I's long distance friendship works so well is that we really respect each other's time as moms. And we know when to give each other, we're just really good at giving each other grace. So I think with any long distance relationship or friendship, there's got to be some like core components. And some of those are like basic respect, a lot of grace, because you're not there. You have no idea what they're doing, how long it takes. They could be having a moment where they actually are not able to, be spiritually present. So I think there are some core components to before you can even think about having a successful long-term friendship. Would you like to add anything?
I think you bring up some really great points. And like, I think especially if you're newly separated from your friend, like you've recently moved or they've moved or whatever has led you to being now long distance, even if you're physically local, but like maybe schedules are different, you're just not there, is the communication. When you're so used to just having someone there kind of not at your disposal, but you know what I mean? Just like so much easier to like connect with, you can forget that, oh, like I don't know everything that's going on right now. I don't know how their day is going right now. And so you need to remind yourself to give that grace. It's easy to have a higher expectation for someone when they're an in-person friend versus a long distance friend. And that expectation can't be the same when someone's long distance. And so to expect someone to be able to get back to you right away or within a certain amount of time or energy or whatever isn't necessarily reasonable. And so you need to kind of change your expectation to like, hey, okay, I don't know what's going on with them. And so if they don't get back to me right away, that's not personal. Like you have to change that thing of like, don't take it personally and just know that even if they can't even message like, hey, I'm going through it right now, or hey, I'm super, sometimes we're so busy, we don't even have the time. Like, especially if Megan's at work and she's dealing with, customer service staff or like in the middle of whatever, like she can't maybe message, hey, I'm busy, I'll get back to you later. Sometimes she can, and that's always appreciated, but sometimes she can't. So I have to know she still loves me, even if she's not getting back to me. I'm not going to take that personally. And you just have to trust. And then when she does, respond when she's able to, she sometimes will be like, oh yeah, sorry, I was so busy. And it's like, totally fine. And if I ever did have like an emergency, I need you right now kind of situation, I could call or text or whatever and let you know. But
trusting that that your friend would be there for you if you were like, hey, code red. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But knowing when to call code red too, because it's like an in-person friend that might be like the code red might be a little lower versus when someone's long distance, you're asking for more attention or you're asking for a different type of thing. And so there's only so much a long distance friend can do.
I waited. Like I knew that you were dealing you were like planning, not dealing. It just feels like that sometimes when your kids are young. We're like planning, your daughter's birthday party and she's quite young. So it's like a full on thing. There's gift bags. There's like the parents
coordination, ordering cupcakes, like the whole thing. Yeah.
Because like there's got to be like an entertainment portion. It's like putting on a Las Vegas show. And it really is. And so I knew
very demanding client.
And very demanding. I knew Annie was going through that. And I had found out some information about my ex-partner and like them moving back into town and like being very nonchalant and like 20 years ago, like this kind of situation would have been like a code red. Like, I am not okay. But like, I knew that Annie was very busy. And so I waited until it was like, I knew it wouldn't be adding on to her. And I really do feel like if you have a friend that's long distance, and especially if you're single or if you're together with someone, but you have an anxious attachment, a long distance friendship is such a good way to practice secure attachment.
That's such a good point.
It's such a good way to practice trust, managing your emotions. It's such a good way to kind of like learn how to deal with all that stuff so that you can be free in your relationships that are very highly personal and highly in person and like healing in general.
Yeah. And I have to say, like, it was really touching to me. Like when Megan finally said, hey, now that the party's over and like things are calming down for you, like I want to tell you what's going on in my life right now, and told me about her week and the emotions she was feeling. Like there was a part of me that was like, oh my gosh, like, I wanted to be there for her. And I felt badly that she kept that to herself. But at the same time, I was like, wow, the amount that she like respects, like, and like notices my life and like witnesses, like what I'm going through, to be like, hey, like, yeah, like what I was dealing with wasn't like a dramatic, crazy, like super stressful thing, but it's like I was managing a lot of stuff and I was very consumed by the party planning and, guests in town and like all that stuff. And so she was just like witnessing that and saying, you know what? I know, like, I trust that Annie will give me the space that I need when she's ready for it. And so I can wait. And like that meant a lot to me that you considered that, because it's like, had it been like a code red, of course, like I would have like dropped everything, but like, Megan, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Do you need to talk? I would have stayed up late, like later after night time to like be there. But it's like, she was like, no, like I want Annie to like be able to take care of this and get the rest that she needs. And it means a lot for someone to see the value in what you're doing. But yeah, it's like, it's an interesting thing. I'm not used to that, like someone being like, oh, I see that what you're doing is important to you. And so I want to give you that space to handle that. Sorry, say that again.
It was a practice for me too, because it was just like in that moment, I really wanted to reach out to someone, but I ended up not reaching out to like really anybody right when it happened. I took a beat. I did text my therapist.
Good. That's great. We love a therapist.
Like, I was like, I need an appointment, but there's very few code reds where I need to disrupt Annie from taking time away from her child like that. And I think that is an important growth for anyone. I mean, how many code reds are there really? I mean, when you're in your 20s, there's a lot of them. If you're not a mom and you're out and you're doing the 20s thing, there's a lot of code reds.
Yeah.
Once you have a family and things like that, and you've got your own things going on, it's like, especially if you have a friend and they have a family and you don't have a family, or vice versa, there's a lot of different priorities. That is a different type of friendship. And it is not going to be as two-way for the person who is single as they would hope. So that is a level of just understanding and getting to the present of what this friendship actually is that probably needs to happen before you can even embark on having a successful long-term friendship with that one. Because I can't imagine like being like such good friends with someone who didn't have a kid, them not understanding like all of the things, like your schedule just goes like confetti sometimes. And
sometimes, that's a good analogy.
Somebody doesn't try to understand that would be really difficult. So yeah, I think it just gets back to like there's a level of understanding that has to happen in baseline before a successful long distance.
Yeah. I have a couple of friends that don't have kids that I consider best friends, and they both get it. And they're like, hey, I don't have kids, but like, I know your kid comes first. And it's just like, thank you. Thank you for seeing that. Also, I want to add, using this past week as an example of your experience, it is always okay too. Like, I don't want you to ever feel you have to like suffer in silence completely. You can always be like, hey, I just want to let you know, once everything calms down, I want to talk to you about something. Like, I got something on my mind that I'd love to vent to you about, or hear your thoughts, or like whatever it is. And that way I know, and I can just be like, okay, sending you love. And I'll let you know as soon as like I have that space. Or maybe like I'm having a moment where I'm like, you know what, this is actually a really good time. My kid is like playing with grandma right now. Are you free right now? Like, let me give you a call. We can talk for even if it's just 15 minutes or whatever. It's okay for you to be like, hey girl, just so you know, when you have the time, something I want to talk to you about that I'm like dealing with, whatever, it's fine. But I just want to say it's up to you. It's your decision, what you're comfortable with. But I will always listen to you if you're like, hey, something's up.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that it was just so to the party. I knew you were probably like in countdown mode, like Rocky style, you know?
Yeah, getting all the goodie bags together and like counting everything, making sure everything's charged.
Just like running up those stairs, just trying to get everything done. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let her do that. I'm gonna sit in what this feels like right now. This very big alone feeling. And no, it was good. I think that we honored each other's boundaries and both. I mean, I continue to say it, but this relationship is very healing for me.
Me too. Yeah, in so many ways. We're just healing each other. No biggie.
Oh, I was thinking of a joke. I was like, okay, like, it's a really good way to keep a long distance friendship going. Start a podcast.
For real though. Well, it's kind of awesome, right? Because we're recording every other week and we're talking about the podcast, and then like, it's a nice way to stay connected. So who cares if anyone listens? We just get to like chat with each other.
No, it's great.
That's really funny.
I know. Some of the other things that we do to like stay connected is that because we both know we have really busy schedules and we both have so much going on, and I'm like in a management role in a corporation, and so like my life is like,
you're busy.
Yeah. So we really leaned into using Google Docs. I know that sounds crazy.
Yes.
Two women with
it's amazing.
Leaning into Google Docs. But we have a Excel a Google Sheet for birthdays, special events, colors we're currently into. I mean, it goes deep.
For both of us and for our kids. It's like all of our current interests, any important dates, like so that we can like remember and have a resource. It's like, oh my gosh, I know that her daughter's birthday is going to be coming up. So I've been like already thinking like, okay, I see what her colors are. I know what she's kind of into. So if I see something, I'm looking like, okay.
Yeah. So
I love that.
Of all of our like our podcast stuff, and then also like we're just gonna start. We just talked about this last night. It was Annie's idea. She wants to start a like recommendation list so that like whenever we're bored and like maybe like we're not getting back to each other on Marco Polo, we can like go to our recommendation list from our bestie and be like, well, she must be the bestie, so I would like she would know what I would want to watch. So
exactly, because we're talking about sci-fi shows or something. Oh no, we were talking about period dramas.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh, have you seen this one? And she was like, have you seen this one? And so I was like, we should totally have a color-coded list in Google Docs. Or no, I'm sorry, Google Sheets. My recommendations will be one color and yours will be a different color. So that way, if we aren't able to communicate with each other, we can just look at those and like, oh, let's see. I'm in the mood to watch something, but I don't know what. Oh, Megan recommended this show. I haven't seen that yet. Maybe I'll check that one out tonight. Or whatever. It's just like a funny way of like being in each other's lives, even when we can't physically be talking. Or
rom-coms, sci-fi.
Yeah, that's true. My husband loves horror movies, and so does Megan. I'm less into them. I can do some of them, but like they love it. So I'm like, I cannot wait for Megan to come visit because then Cameron can watch all the scary movies with her.
I can't watch it alone. This is
oh, that's right. Yeah.
Like long distance. I need to find a friend in person who likes horror movies.
I know. I'm trying to think of anyone I know in San Francisco that might like. But most of the people I know in San Francisco have already left.
Okay, so we've got the Google Sheets and everything like that. Trying to think of like what else we do. I think that the Google Sheets, like what this goes into is that like one of the ways that Andy and I have figured out how to love each other and support each other from afar is to lean into each other's love language. And lucky for us, we have the same one. And so we gift give. So we'll send each other gifts. And it doesn't have to be expensive, you know? And
you don't even need to like do anything to buy it. Sometimes the gifts are just like little things online, or like we're always sending each other memes and stuff. Like we're always receiving from each other, whether it's like internet, like I'm thinking of you. Here's, look at this funny thing I thought of you.
Yeah, I guess it's like a really good practice in receiving because gift givers usually are not very good at receiving. That's
which how funny, right? It's so true. It's so true.
That's so weird. And so, but it also like creates presence in each other's lives, like presence, haha, like gifts, but also like presence, like we're there with them. So
yeah, I love it when I open up my phone and it's like, oh, Megan sent me a meme. I can't wait to see what it is because I just know it's either going to be really funny or like really touching. Like it's either going to be unhinged or like make me cry.
I know I'm really into the extremes of like I either want to be crying laughing or I want to be crying because it's just so sweet.
It's so sweet. Yeah, I know. It's so true. It's so true. Yeah. I love those memes that are like, oh, there's a reason you and your bestie don't live in the same city because if you did, it would be pure chaos or the world couldn't handle it or whatever. It's like, yeah, I identify.
I mean, San Francisco could barely handle it the first time. So.
Oh. Yeah, that's the real reason why our friendship fizzled is because San Francisco was like, whoa, too much. I can't handle it.
Too much.
Too much good energy. So I can't wait for like, I'm so hopeful that you can like move closer one day.
So I think that one of the best ways that this podcast has actually helped us remain like close friends is that we are on an actual consistent schedule of meeting up.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a podcast to stay consistent, but for us, it has helped. But I do.
Yeah. And you can do that in multiple ways. Like even if you don't have a podcast, like I have, so my two friends from college, we do, I think it's once a month. Yeah, I think it's once a month. We have just like a video chat schedule where it's just on the calendar repeating. And if one of us can't make it for whatever reason, we'll let each other know. But we try and just do like an hour, like during the lunch hour during the week where we can just be like, hey, what's up? Like, how you doing? I like your new hair color. Like whatever, you know what I mean? And I think that's such a great thing for us because like we're all like one of them lives in Vancouver, Canada. One of them lives in Chicago. Like we're definitely all very long distance. But we still want to feel close. And even though we chat through, like we have an Instagram, you know, we should call it group chat, which is great. But it's nice to just see someone's face sometimes and like see them talking to you and like having that connection. And so I recommend that for like every long distance friend, like put it on the calendar. Like it might seem silly at first, like scheduling your friendship. But when, especially if you're a parent or if you're working like a job that demands a lot of you, put it in the calendar, put fun stuff in the calendar, just like you would like, oh, hey, I've got Dungeons and Dragons I need to schedule, or I've got a park day I need to schedule. Like schedule a video call with your friend. I know it's not the same as being in person, but it feels like just, I don't know, like seeing someone talk to you just feels so much more personal than just a phone call. Even if you're just, oh, I talk to them every day on text message, like it's still not the same. It's a different level. And it just, those days always give me so much energy and I feel so alive. I'm like, oh, I saw my friends today, you know?
Isn't it weird? You talk about nothing with someone and just for like 5 minutes, like 5 minutes later, you're just like, oh, I feel so much better. Like life is living. Like,
I can feel so sad and depressed, like on my period and just like, ugh. And then talk to you on Marco Polo or we're doing our podcast or, you know, if I have one of my video chats with another friend or something or a different Marco Polo chat, like I feel uplifted. It's just like immediate dopamine or whatever. Your friends give you all the good chemicals. I forget which does what, right? There's like dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin. I don't know what does what, but
dopamine like pleasure one. So that's why being on Instagram all day like makes you really depressed actually because it like drains your dopamine.
Dang. Okay.
You have so much pleasure, right? And then serotonin is like your natural happiness that you have to work for. And when I mean work, I mean like eat right, get sleep, like
exercise, the serotonin, right?
But one pillar of oxytocin is like the love chemical that you get when you're like I think it's when you're in person. I think it's when you're in person.
I think they say like if you hug someone for more than 5 seconds, you get an oxytocin dump or something like that, or some kind of number, special number. So when you hug your friends, make sure you hug them for at least 5 seconds.
I think that maybe like video chat would be like a pillar of health, like a serotonin builder. Like I don't know the science behind that, but I'm not sure if you can do oxytocin from,
long distance.
You have to be in person. So I think that like there's something different between texting and memeing with Annie. That's great. It's like a little check-in. It's like a little like, beep, I'm there. Boop, I'm there. But like when you force yourself to have real communication, like on video or whatever, it is a more of a pillar rather than a hit of dopamine. And so it feels more genuine and real, and it carries with you longer throughout the day or week.
Yeah, I love it. You just like fill the stores, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I got my little shelf of like chemicals brain chemicals that you fill up. Talking about, it would be so cool. Like I would love to discuss this on the podcast at some point, but talking about the actual brain chemistry behind friendship.
Me too. I would love that.
Like I think I'm sure there's studies about that we could find and like discuss and talk about it, because it's so cool. Like what happens in our brains when you have friendship, or like, how does that change maybe when you're a long distance friendship versus in person, or like, are there differences in the brain, or like, are the adrenaline, not adrenaline, but the dopamine levels different, or I don't know. I'm sure there's so much there that would be a cool exploration.
Have you ever seen like a video of serotonin like doing its little walk in your brain?
Yes, carrying the thing. I love that.
I feel like my serotonin like walks a little faster.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
I would love to hear other people's ideas. If you have a long distance friend, leave a comment if you can about what helps your friendship feel.
Totally. What apps you use, what tools you use, because we've just been winging it,
Yeah, maybe you've thought of something that we haven't.
We will be doing some in-person episodes
in August. Very excited. It's going to be so funny. Megan's going to come up and visit me with her daughter. I'm so stoked. And we'll be able to hang out for a few days and do some episodes in person.
Oh, I know one thing that we do that, when you have a person that's in person friend, they send you a ton of like songs or recommendations or whatever. I mean, it's really easy to glaze over them, but I think that was something that Annie and I do really well, is that if she sends me something to listen to or something to read, like I take the time to actually listen to or read that thing.
Yeah.
And that's really important too, because it's a way to stay connected.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not very good at
I totally fell down that song you sent me last night. I was like, oh, send me that song. Or was it last night or the night before? I forget. But the guitar song you're trying to learn. I totally fell down the rabbit hole with that, because I was like, this is so good, and like just never turned it off, and I kept listening to their music. I was like, oh, this is like such a vibe right now. At a certain point, I was like, oh wait, the song ended, and I'm just like 3 songs later.
Yeah, I love Tosh Sultana. She's not my usual type of music that I listen to, because she's kind of like this jam band kind of feel in a lot of her songs.
It definitely had that vibe.
Yeah, but that one song I sent you is very like personal to me. And it doesn't really have that vibe. It has a more like, I don't know, it has a yearning vibe to it,
Yeah.
Yearning quality.
I like that. But I really like the layering, like you were talking about, of like the guitar. So good. I can't wait to hear you play that. It's funny. So Megan's learning the guitar right now, or relearning in a lot of ways. You played a little bit. I remember in San Francisco, you played Wonderwall. That was like your go-to.
Hey guys, here's Wonderwall. I am a walking meme, but no more.
So funny. It's so good. Yeah, we both had like our go-to songs. Like you would play Wonderwall, and then I would play When I Come Around by Green Day, and like that was like our thing.
Infinitely more cool. But I have a special bond with the song Wonderwall. Okay,
that's okay.
I listened to it in my headphones when I was 15 on my way to the first time visiting San Francisco.
No way. Aw, I love that.
Yeah. And so that song, like, very meaningful. But, it's become a white person's joke. And it is. It's like, that song is Mr. Brightside of our time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to hear a funny song or funny story about like songs being cringe or cliche or whatever? So my husband was where was he? He was traveling abroad somewhere, and I forget where he was. I want to say Spain. I think he was in Spain because he did a study abroad program in Spain. And there was like this local bar near his place where he was staying. And one day it was like super crowded in there. And he was like, oh, like maybe there was like some kind of game going on. I don't know. But for whatever reason, it was very crowded. And he was talking to the bartender who he had gotten to know and become a friend with. He's like, oh, I wonder how many of these folks are Americans in here. Like, and the bartender goes, oh, I can find out for you. My husband's thinking, like, how are you gonna?
I know where this is going.
So yeah. So he's like, hold on, I'll be right back. So he goes over, he puts Journey on.
Oh, no.
Don't Stop Believing.
Oh,
And then literally he's looking around and he's counting the people singing. And he comes over back to my husband and goes, oh, there's 16.
That was
we just can't help ourselves.
I mean, come on, like how it's a classic. Oh man, that's good.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting too, in a way, like in terms of thinking long distance friendships, having Marco Polo, like seriously, Marco Polo, if you ever want to sponsor it, like
For real though.
Anyways, for real. But yeah, it's like even I guess we'd probably still do this even if you lived locally, but it's nice like when my day calms down, that's like after like my husband takes over a night routine. Like I get the kid dressed and teeth brushed, and then my husband comes in and does story times and tuck in and all of that. So like once we switch off, like I'm done for the day. Like my parenting duties are done. And that's when my brain can calm down. And I love like being able to just be like, oh, now I can like have space for like people I want to talk to, you know what I mean? Or like for Megan, usually it's like, I'll send you a message. And it's nice knowing that like, even though it's later at night, maybe you're already asleep, it's like, I can talk to my friend right now, or like anything that happened today that I want to share with her, I can share with her now. And if she's awake, she'll see it and great. And if not, like she'll see it in the morning, but it's like, I get to decompress with my best friend, even if she's not available to be in that moment, decompressing with me. And so I love that app for giving me that flexibility instead of having to feel like, oh, well, my friend's already asleep, so I can't like call her or text her. I'll just tell her tomorrow if I remember or whatever. Because like so often, even if something's like important to you, sometimes life just keeps happening and you just don't get around to telling them the thing that you meant to tell them. And so being able to Marco Polo you and just be like, hey, blah, 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 decompressing. I'm just like feeding the cats and getting ready for bed. And then if she's there, she can respond. And if she's not, then she can still get all that information. And in the way that like I was feeling it in that moment, like, you know, the words I'm using, the tone I'm using, like she can be like, oh, Annie had a hard day today. Like she can like respond to me.
It's like a tiny gift of intimacy.
Yeah, exactly. So I love that. I love that we can share those like literally in the moment, like things. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, you missed it. Like earlier today, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, I can just message you right in that moment. And then you can receive it when you're able to.
They go and like re-record the thing that happened because the producers were like, oh, what just happened? So good, but it was actually off camera. So we're going to do it again tomorrow. And then I learned that from the Hills. Like,
no way.
So like they would, because reality TV was still just coming up, right? It was still coming up. Mm-hmm. Like they would
still beginning, yeah.
They would have like these emotional things, and the producer would be like, fuck, we weren't even recording. So they would make them have the same conversations in the same scenario again.
That sounds exhausting.
I bet it's not the same.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It just makes me think of Heidi and Lauren.
Heidi and Lauren. When am I not thinking of Heidi and Lauren?
I know. I love that. Hey, Heidi and Lauren, if you ever want to be on our podcast.
I know. I feel like that whole like relationship ending, I feel like we were gaslit into thinking that Heidi was the problem.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that was totally produced. And like who knows what the truth is? Like, isn't there a thing where they say there's his truth, her truth, or it doesn't matter gender, you know, right. One person's truth, another person's truth, and then the actual truth. And I think when TV's involved, then there's like a whole nother level of like, okay, well, this is what the story is being treated as, but then there's like also multiple truths, like each individual's truth, and then what actually happened. So yeah, I feel like we can give all parties involved space or grace.
So use Marco Polo where you get the truth in real time.
In real time. Yeah, right. So funny. No, I would love, I mean, I'm sure like everyone like is curious, like, oh, what really happened? You know, how much of that was produced or how much of that was real?
I know.
But they were definitely like an iconic pair.
It was a whole character
at the time.
You blew my mind when you told me about Spencer and how he was acting thing, kind of like Marilyn Monroe would do or something. Like he was being
he was turning it on. Yeah, at least that's what I read. But I mean, like, good for him for like seeing the future of TV, right? He's on a new show right now. I think he's on a new reality show on Hulu. I want to watch it. I forget what it's called. Spencer, awesome. I'm so in love with the whole thing right now.
His actions have proved over time that he was not a bad dude.
Never. He has so much love for his wife and his family, and it's beautiful. Like so Heidi went to Coachella apparently, and he was just like on the sidelines cheering her on the whole time. I was just like, oh, I love that. He's so, like wearing her shirt everywhere. It's so cute.
I love them. I thought that for the longest time I was just like, oh, cringe. But now I'm just like, they seem the happiest.
I think so much of like what we believed was reality wasn't, because we didn't understand what reality TV was yet. And so we were made to believe these were certain people. But it's like we didn't know shit. Like those were just characters that maybe they created, maybe the producers created, and we believed it. And like, yeah, they are who they are though, and they seem like pretty cool people.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you guys so much for being here and listening to our episode. I hope that you found value out of what we had to say about maintaining a long distance friendship. And we would love it if you have any ideas or things that you do that you feel make your bonds feel strong or personal over long distance. Share it in the comments, please. Send us a DM, whatever. Like we would love to be able to have everyone connect with each other too and share ideas.
Yes.
But yeah, thanks for being here. We really appreciate you listening, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
And also, I hope you guys realize that we did this in the daytime for you guys for the first time.
Yeah.
So
let us know if our energy seems more awake.
Right. We're not hopped up on coffee at 9:00 at night, and we are not vampires. We are here in the daylight today. So we thank you for being with us and for sticking with us. Content's going to keep coming. It's going to keep evolving and getting better. So we appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Bye. We good.
We good. And out.